All right, hey YouTube. Well, back at it again with another update on the SS. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about one of the new purchases that I made. So, all right, so let me start back here. So these are the 17x10s Welds S77 that I've been running for a while now. I currently took them off. They were pretty dirty, so they need some deep cleaning. But I've really been wanting a front set for the longest time ever. I've actually had these already for like maybe 3 years already. But yeah, so I finally pulled the trigger and I decided to go with the matching front set. So the ones I decided to go with are they're 18x8. And so again, they're S77s. And so here is pretty much, I guess the part number. And these are supposed to clear the Brembo brakes. So they're meant for like the Chevy Camaro SS, Chevy SS, and the CTSV. So I shouldn't have any problems with like fitment. I am gonna go ahead and just test though, just to make sure. But anyways, let's take a look at them. So I already got the box open yesterday whenever they dropped them off. Actually, I was kind of scared because the UPS person almost dropped one of the boxes, but luckily he caught it. But anyways, damn, that's just a beautiful wheel. I really like this design. The S77 has been my favorite ones. I did have the 71s a couple years ago. Actually, like before I got these, I had the 71s. And I only had them for like maybe 6 months, and then I got rid of them. Nothing wrong with them, I just really like this style more. Anyway, so that's something new that I just got in for the car. There are some other things that are kind of going on with it. So I started to have issues with the throttle body. So recently we got the Katech 103, which is essentially the same thing as the Nick Williams 103 throttle body. And that got installed maybe like 3 months ago. And out of the blue, I started to have issues. And at first it wasn't so apparent. What actually caught my attention was the sound that the car was making. So one day I turned it on and I had the hood open, and I kept hearing like this popping sound, which threw me off. So, you know, it would tend to only really do it like on a cold start. So I would pull out the car, and for whatever reason, I think I had the hood open one day, and I kept hearing like this popping sound. Came up to the front, and the sound was pretty much coming from right in this area. So the first thing I thought of was, okay, something's going on with maybe the supercharger. But then I really started paying attention to it a little bit more, and it was coming straight from the throttle body. You hear that?
Yeah, that doesn't sound good or right.
Okay, let me turn it. Yeah, that.
Yeah, no.
And so right now I am running the stock LS3 throttle body. I went ahead and put that back on, loaded up another tune. Essentially the Katech 103 throttle body was opening and closing real quick. And you can for sure hear it whenever I would key on the car right before it turns on all the way. I would key it on and you could hear it. And it was like this chatter sound. And same thing also whenever you turn off the car, the throttle body was just chattering. So I knew something was going on, and then eventually affect, I guess, drivability. And what I mean by that is I would put the car in drive, see the RPMs go up and down a little bit, just to the point where you could really feel like the car kind of idle a little bit differently, almost like if it wanted to start surging. So anyway, I got HP tuners out, logged the car. All right, so here I have the VCM scanner open and one of the logs from a couple days ago. So the thing that I was started to pay attention to was the throttle percentage. let me go ahead and play this log. So this is pretty much still at a code start. And essentially what I started to notice was, if you pay attention to this green line right here, you see how it just, there's a bunch of fluctuation and, you know, it spikes up, spikes down. And I don't think that should be happening. And so essentially whenever I would put the car into drive, I could see my RPM, you know, go up and down real quick. Now the car is cam, so it will do that a little bit, but it was to the point where I could definitely feel it and I could tell something was going on. So, but then if I fast forward on this log towards the end of it, so after I drive the car for a little bit, notice what's going on now. So the car is still idling and you can tell because of the RPM, but then here's the throttle percentage and look how much more flat that line is right there too. Okay, so essentially after driving the car for a little bit, that issue would go away. So I don't know what's going on with that. Like I said, so I went ahead and just put on the stock throttle body, confirmed that everything's working properly with this one. So I reached out to Katech. They said go ahead, send us in the throttle body. So it's been about like almost 3 weeks already. So I hope to have it back next week or this week coming up, and we can put that back on. And then so in one of the next videos that I'll be doing is pretty much putting on this 2.35 upper pulley. I had ordered it a while back, I just haven't installed it yet. And then also the other I guess this is an idler pulley, 100 millimeter idler pulley with the new belt. So that's gonna be going on. I am gonna need a new tune to run this setup. So I already reached out to my tuner. I'm just waiting for him to hit me back up with another tune. And then we should be able to put that back on, load up the new tune, and then, you know, go out for a drive. All right, so something else I did do is I changed out the springs that go in the trunk. So after I installed this is the Maverick Man spoiler for the SS. And after I installed it, pretty much I would unlock the, you know, I would go to open up the trunk and it wouldn't open up all the way. Actually, and I was already having that issue even with the stock spoiler. Some days the trunk would open up all the way and sometimes it wouldn't. But anyway, so once I got the springs installed, so this is what it does now with the new heavy duty springs. Yeah, it opens up all the way. And so these are the new springs. These are the old ones. As you can see, there's a little bit of a difference there. So these were pretty easy to swap out. All you really have to do is just, you know, I grabbed some pliers and I held onto right here and I just pulled it. And so the top spring comes unhooked, and then I did the same thing with the bottom one and then just popped in the new ones. And so now that's fixed up. So I definitely recommend changing out to the heavy duty springs, especially if you're running a heavier spoiler, or even if you're just having that issue where the trunk doesn't open up all the way. Where I ended up getting these springs was from, I got them from Holden Parts USA. So if you just go to their website, they were about like $40. So I mean, it wasn't bad. Maybe I could have got them cheaper somewhere else, but it is what it is. I mean, it did the job, so I'm happy with that. All right, so going back to the weld. So like I said, we need to test fit them. So I'm gonna go ahead, jack up the car, pull off the wheel, and then just make sure everything clears. So, and like I said, everything should clear. I am running the CTSV brakes up front. So we shouldn't have any issues, but let's just go ahead and test it out and make sure. Alright, so there it is, got the wheel mounted. And man, that looks good. Okay, let me just spin this. And yeah, it looks like no issues whatsoever. Clears the brakes, brake calipers, no problem. And so yeah, I think this looks good. I am gonna probably have to order a whole new set of lug nuts. So I only have so these are the lug nuts I currently have, and so these are the ones I've been using, and I only have enough for just the rear wheels, so I'm probably gonna have to order a whole new set. That way I have enough to mount the front ones. Obviously you can't use the regular ones that come with the SS. They're just too wide. You really need these long skinny ones. So if y'all have any recommendations on lug nuts, let me know. Yeah, so no problems there. Like I said, it clears. Right, side view. And so yeah, that's gonna sit flush. That's what I'm trying to go after too. Let me move over on this side. And then the other thing too is, like, obviously I got to get a tire. So tire size that I'm probably gonna go with is a 235 45 18. Yeah, because I was looking at the 235 45, and also there's a 245 45 18. But essentially I want to try to get the height of the tire to be as close as to the rear tire. So in the back I'm running 275 40 17, so they're the Mickey Thompson ET Streets R's, and so that tire is about a 26-inch tall tire, and so I want to try to get something close to that up front. So that's what I'm kind of leaning towards to, is running a 235 45. If you guys have any other recommendations, let me know, but just keep in mind though, so I have seen some people, for example, run a 305 45 17, so which that's a 28-inch tire in the rear, and you kind of need something like that up front too to kind of match. If not, it'll throw off like your I think it'll throw off like your ABS or something like that. But so I need to try to stick with something that's kind of close in tire height size to the rear tires also. So that's why I'm leaning towards that 235 45. Again, I decided to go with an 18x8 up front, simply because I didn't want to run skinnies. I wanted to run a little bit of a wider wheel up front, just so that I can drive the car and not have to worry about, you know, running a skinny up front. All right, so once I get the tire in, we'll get that mounted, and then I am gonna ceramic coat these wheels. So that is something else I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna probably order some, like a kit off of Amazon, and get these wheels coated, especially right now because they're brand new. I should be able just to pretty much coat them. The rear ones over here, they're definitely gonna need a very good cleaning, that's for sure. Look at the back. Yeah. So anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. So I'll go ahead and get this all wrapped up. So hopefully in the next video, I'll finally have the S77s put on. I have a tune from my tuner, and I'll have the pulleys on, and then we'll see what that does. So catch you guys on the next one.